What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, the other day I saw an article that I wouldn't say made me extremely jealous because clearly, I enjoy playing Battlefield a ton, and it's good for me as well because I love Battlefield. But being also a longtime COD fan, it just hurts my soul to know that there are developers out there who act this way, treat their community this way, respect their community in this way. And it always seems like such a far-fetched idea when it comes to Call of Duty, but it realistically is not. Now, as you can see right here, there's been a problem going around in Battlefield 2042. Well, not a problem, it was intentional, but the community did not enjoy it whatsoever. When they brought in the breakaway update along with the class system, they implemented a feature that when you obviously put on a drum mag on any of your guns, it severely affects your ADS time and just different features of the weapon as well. And when I tell you that the massive portion of the community was extremely pissed off about this, I'm not lying to you. Everybody was outraged. And I'll be honest, from my own personal perspective, I've tried it out, I've seen the update. Personally, it doesn't affect me that much. It doesn't, push me to the edge where this is the worst thing that has ever happened. Is it an unnecessary change? Yeah, I'll agree with that, but is it something that requires this much backlash? I don't think it's that far. But this is why, right at this moment, I really do respect DICE. Because even for, things that aren't even drastic, things that aren't going to absolutely kill off the whole game, they will still come out and talk to the community, and try to find at least a middle ground. As you can see right here from the Battlefield Direct Communication page on Twitter, we've heard your concerns about the recent drum and extended mag changes as part of Update 3.2. We'll be reverting this change in the near future. This change didn't meet your or our quality standards, and we will reassess how to improve and balance those changes for the future. And again, I want to make it extremely clear that this isn't even a thing that is destroying the game. Like, this is not a feature, the drum mags making the ADS speeds and stuff like that slower. That's not something that will keep me away from playing Battlefield 2042. Stuff like the class system was, stuff like the quality of life of the game and how hard it was to run the game without it absolutely crapping itself was. And again, those things were addressed as well. Like I said, DICE has really gained my respect, and they typically do gain my respect, but after Battlefield 5, they were showing a little bit of an egotistical state, which was stressing me out. But once 2042 came around, yeah, obviously it's the same exact thing. They still had a little bit of an ego in the beginning, but these new developers are definitely growing, and they are proving to us that they understand that having a good relationship with your community is, and not might, it is the most effective thing that you can have when being a game designer. And what gains even more of my respect is the fact that DICE has been taking it on the chin since day one. Again, when the game first launched, yeah, their ego was definitely asserted into Battlefield 2042. But literally after the first month, the community made it loud and clear that nobody enjoyed the direction they were trying to force Battlefield into. And since the very beginning, they were accepting L's. They didn't push it aside. They didn't pretend it ever happened. The L's didn't only exist in the community. No, they openly admitted that these were faults. They openly changed things. They openly tried to find a middle ground for certain things like the class system, because you have to keep in mind they can't completely strip the specialists out of the game. They'll get sued, They literally have contracts with these voice actors, and it's just not possible. You have to understand, for this game right here, that is the most they could have done. Keep the specialist and force them into a classed, sectioned off type of deal. That's all they could have done for 2040. There's literally no other possibilities. They took it to the furthest extent. They accepted their faults. They could have easily done a Call of Duty and ignored everything that we said and kept Battlefield 2042 pushing on in the same exact direction. Because even though the mass majority of people didn't really care for it, there was still, a player base there. People are still, enjoying it. And I don't blame you guys. You enjoy what you enjoy. And of course, EA made absolute bank off the initial sales of the game and pre-orders. So it wasn't like they really needed to push this game any further. Well, I guess if they wanted to, get enough income for the minute, because we are in the live service, model era of gaming now, where games can't just launch and call it, they have to make sure that game gains profits all throughout its life cycle. So, I guess that might be why EA is coming back into the picture, but I really do believe that DICE is just very open with us, because you could see Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 right now. The numbers have been drastically dropping every single month, month after month after month. The game is not even, considerably seen an increase of player base, and they know why. They know why people aren't coming back to 6v6. They know why people aren't playing it, and they choose to keep ignoring it. They don't acknowledge it. They don't accept anything that's happening. They don't communicate with us. They don't try to find a middle ground. And, that's what happens. But I think that right there is proof that it's not necessarily, the publisher. It really does come down to the developers. Are the developers passionate enough? And are they open enough? And can they control their egos enough? And maybe I shouldn't say the developers, but the management at these development teams. Can they control their egos enough that they can accept, losses, that they can accept that they did bad things the community didn't enjoy? And can they just make the middle ground already? Imagine if we got a message like that for the perk system within Modern Warfare 2, saying that they understand that the perk system isn't being accepted nicely. It was a mistake, and they're going to revert it and, make it better. Imagine if they said that to the community. Imagine how many positive videos, how many positive things would be crossing the internet, all over Twitter, all over YouTube, all the streamers who play the game. Imagine how positive the feedback would be, and imagine how much their sales would go up because of the positive feedback. It will be a night and day difference, and that's what's happening with Battlefield 2042. It started off, really good, obviously, because, like I said, the pre-order sales. But as time has gone on and people actually see that it's a bad game, they lost everything. No more sales. But communicating with their community and doing what people are asking to make their community happy, guess what that does? It spreads good word. Trust me, word of mouth might be one of the most effective and also one of the, most detrimental things that can happen to anything, anybody out there, any business out there. All it takes is someone saying, that thing, that place, whatever that was, is ass. That's all it takes. It might sound insane. It might sound like it's not that much effort, but it's true. It doesn't take much to convince people who have never witnessed something, who have never played something, who have never, eaten anywhere. If they never tried it and someone says it's garbage, they'll just take that information and say, oh, yeah, well, I remember someone said this time. I don't even want to consider trying that out. Word of mouth is very, very effective in many ways. So doing exactly this is how you gain your sales back. It's how you gain the respect of your community, and it's how you gain players back into the experience. Not even just the perk system for Call of Duty. Imagine if they did it for anything, like the same thing right here with the weapons. This is a problem with Modern Warfare 2 right now, right this second. One of the biggest issues is that all the attachments you put on your weapons are absolute dog water. Now, they're not bad, the attachments themselves, they're cool, I guess, but they all affect your movement. Everything slows you down. You can't even considerably move anywhere in an arcade shooter because you decided to put a red dot on, or you decided to put like 10 extra bullets in your mag, or you decided to put, a tiny little compensator at the end of your gun. It just, I understand that weapons are heavy, and yeah, these things will add to it, but my goodness, it's an arcade shooter. It doesn't have to be that absolutely insane. And as you can see right here in Battlefield 2042, the same thing. The drum mag was making the ADS speeds extremely slow. People weren't liking it. It made the game less arcadey. And right away, they're on it. Imagine if COD did that. Imagine if COD came out with a letter saying, you know what? We understand that the gunsmith system, a lot of the attachments aren't properly balanced enough. We're going to go ahead and change that. If you are only a COD fan, you are screwed because you don't see that is not the only way. I think that's the problem with Call of Duty and why it still is able to do what it does. Because a decent amount of Call of Duty players literally just don't touch anything else. That is their experience. That's all they see. That's all they witness. So they grow a mindset that that's what they have to accept, when in reality, it's not. They grow the mindset that, maybe that is a lot of work. Maybe that is hard for them to go ahead and do. DICE is in absolute development hell right now trying to get this game together and also work on the next Battlefield game. And they're going to go ahead and work on their weapons. Like, it's two things. It's two things. Laziness and ego. And those two things combined is what's going to kill the Call of Duty franchise. But for DICE and Battlefield right now, I got to say I'm extremely happy. They have gained my respect. And even though I am going to be extremely, extremely cautious of the next Battlefield game, and I'm not judging off of trailers anymore. I let myself slip that time. Usually I don't let myself slip, but I let myself slip that time with the trailer, and it turned out to be just a bad experience. We're going to wait for gameplay. We're going to wait to get hands-on. Which, again, that's hard too because the beta actually played pretty smooth. The beta played 10 trillion times better for me than the actual game when it launched. And it took all the way until current date right now for the gunplay to feel like it did in the beta. So, I don't know. The point of the video, the point I'm trying to make here is that they actually care, okay? That's all I have to say. They care. They've gained my respect. And I really hope a lot of other development teams follow suit exactly like this. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content, if you subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with us too, we do so have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams, video games, over on Twitch, linked in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.